Ladies and gentlemen, we got a lot of sugar honey iced tea to cover. Mr. First, America First himself is in Doha buying a house. And we got to talk about Ilhan Omar and these dirty Somalians. For some reason, Jasmine Crockett, even though she's a failure, she decides she's going to run for Senate. But before we do all of that, we have to talk about Piers Morgan debating Nick Fuentes. Come on, y'all. Welcome to the Officer Tatum Show.
If you don't believe that we are in a fight today, you're sleeping under a rock. If you get hit and you lay down and you cry and you fold up in the corner, definitely you will not win the fight. We show up to win. Our culture needs a lot of you young people in here to step up and stand out. There is nothing or no principality, power, division, devil can stop us when we're united. They can only get you when you're divided. When I see the American flag, I see us progressing to something that can be awesome and great. And if you don't plan on winning big, you might as well go home today.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, welcome back. I want to just first off say before we start the show, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel at The Officer Tatum Show. Some of y'all don't know I have a podcast. So if you don't want to watch it or you cannot watch it with the video or watch it live here, you can look at it on the podcast network. Anywhere where you download your podcast, download The Officer Tatum Show on the podcast. Subscribe to my Substack. I write articles every day. And we have something special to announce. And I think this young lady is going to be extremely excited. So remember I told you guys about Scott Jennings' book, his brand new book that just came out, signed copy. And I said, if you subscribe to my Substack, you write a comment telling me how incredible, or at least the things that you think that are incredible about Scott Jennings, that we will have somebody select your name. Obviously, my producer did it. And we will send you this book. So we are here to announce the winner of A Revolution of Common Sense by Scott Jennings, Kimberly. All right, let's go to Kimberly's comment here. It says, my favorite characteristic of Scott Jennings is how he is able to convey facts without losing control of his emotions, his ability to deliver an opposing view regardless of the narrative presented, yet stay on topic. So Kimberly, this book is yours. It's signed right in the front. I'm going to show it to you. See, I don't think I'm playing. This book is going to go to Kimberly. Kimberly, we will ship this book out to you today. Thank you so much for participating. And thank you so much for subscribing to my Substack. You better not unsubscribe. You better stay subscribed. Are we going to send it back? No, I'm kidding with y'all. So thank you, Kimberly. God bless you. And God bless everybody that's on the Freedom Chat. Thank you for downloading Freedom Chat. We're almost to 1,000 subscribers on Freedom Chat. Y'all go and check it out. Let's talk about Piers Morgan and Nick Fuentes. Now, I'm going to say this first and foremost, and we'll get to Mr. Doha in a minute, Tucker Carlson. But let's start with this. This is how you interview Nick Fuentes. You ain't got to be mean. You ain't got to be silly. But you're going to bring on a guy who's an admitted racist and not talk about racism? You bring a guy and say he loved Hitler, and you're not going to talk about what that means? Piers Morgan, shout out to you, my brother. Piers Morgan did a real interview. Let's get to the interview real quick. We're going to skip the sizzle. We're going to go right to clip 102A. Clip 102A, and it starts from the very beginning where Piers Morgan literally tells him, is this what you mean? He shows him the clip, and Nick Fuentes has an opportunity to respond. And I'm telling you guys, for those of you nut jobs that think this guy is normal, you're going to find that he's not. Everybody that's sane, he's going to reveal to you exactly what we know him to be. The first one is about black people need to be imprisoned for the most part, wrote a clip.
Blacks need to be imprisoned for the most part, and we would live in paradise. It's that simple.
Okay. Would you like to clarify what you meant there?
That's all true. That's 100% true. Everything I said in that clip is true.
Including that blacks need to be imprisoned for the most part?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, all of them?
No, for the most part.
What does the most part mean? What percentage of American blacks would you like to see in prison?
Whatever the percentages of the murderers. I think it's 1 in 20 black men will commit a murder in their lifetime. So maybe let's say that, 5%.
Oh, so you're talking about black people who murder people?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But you didn't say that.
That's
you just said
problem.
Blacks need to be imprisoned for the most part. You didn't clarify that you were talking about black murderers.
Right. No, you're right. That's a good addition to that. That's a great point.
You think it's funny, or?
I do. I think it's hilarious. I think it's totally true.
Do you think a black American would find it funny? You think that blacks should be imprisoned for the most part?
Blacks are my biggest fans. I get high fives all the time. They say, Nick Fuentes, I love your show. They agree with me. And you want to know why? Here's the difference. Black people are the most victimized by other black people. You think black people want to live in the hood and the ghetto and get shot all the time? That's what happens in the south side of Chicago.
All right, look. This is how people gaslight you. He never said and made a qualifier on what kind of black people. He said black people should be imprisoned for the most part. He added prisoners, or not prisoners, but he added people who are murderers. Wait a minute, bruh. I think black people who commit crimes should be in prison. Now you're letting Piers tell you it's just murderers and you're taking that to account. And you're saying for the most part, murderers should be incarcerated. Like none of that you saying makes sense. And let me just clarify something real quick that he said that I think is Stu-headish. He said at the beginning before Piers Morgan gave him an out to a certain degree, this fool said 1 in every 20 black men are going to commit a murder at some point in their life. I don't know what statistical data point he looking at while he's smoking crack, but if you just look at the numbers, it's about 40 million black people in America. And somebody do the math for me and tell me in my ear what the math will be. 40 million black people, let's say half of them are men, and then you got to account for the men who are old and the men who are too young to commit a crime. So then you're left with, let's give a crazy number like 10 million. So you're saying 5% of 10 million black men are the ones that should be incarcerated? Out of 10 million people, 1 in every 20 is going to commit a murder in their lifetime. What kind of silly, weird stuff? I don't know a black man that has committed murder. In my whole life, I don't know there's not a black man connected to me that I went to school with, a black man that's in my family. Some of them in prison, but they ain't never killed nobody. Nobody that my daddy know, nobody from his generation. I don't know a single black man personally that I've ever encountered that has killed somebody. And you said 1 in 20. You know how silly that is? Hey, there's more. I'm going to let him finish. Let's roll the next clip.
I mean,
sure,
this is
a lot of white
problem.
people commit murder too. Well, they do, don't they?
Okay, but it's about proportionality. I mean, white people are 65% of the population. Blacks are 13%.
See, I honestly thought Piers would be
I
up
think
to date with
anybody
this.
would tell you that more black people proportionally commit violent crime than white people, and people vote with their feet. People would rather pay a much higher property tax.
Most mass shootings.
What's with the interruptions?
Pause real quick. Let me just address this because people always say the 13% population thing. When you look at the murders, I think people never look at the raw number of murders. Like I said before, there's 40 million black people, which is 13% of the population. That's all black people. Old, young, mentally ill, you name it, babies, male, female, trans. I mean, all black people, about 40 million. If you look at the murder rate every year, it's about 6,000 murders are committed by black people. 90+% are against other black people. Now, think about this for a minute. Out of 40 million people, only about 6,000 of them have murdered somebody. And sometimes one person murdered more than one. But we're talking about 6,000 murders out of 40 million people. So 13% of the population, 6,000 murders from 13% of the population, majority of them are other black people. That's an astronomically low number. I don't know why we don't get that. Then let's put this in perspective too. Let's look at the numbers. If half of black people are men, you got to think the older men are not the ones out here murdering because most of the murders between 16 and 35. So you cut down 16 to 35, and out of all the black men between 16 and 35, not all of them are murderers. So then you cut that number down. You're talking like 2% of the population total are committing half of the murders. That's not a lot of black people. That's not a lot of people in general that are murdering people. We have 350 million people that live in this country. And we probably have, 13,000 murders a year? Like, getting murdered is very rare for the human population. I'll let him finish.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, you look at in Chicago, in New York, these neighborhoods are so stratified. People would rather pay a high tax rate. They'd rather pay a much higher property value to live in a less diverse, less black neighborhood because they don't want to live around the violence. And I think that when you look at even on the public transit, the subway, the blue line, you know, people don't want to go there because they know who occupies and menaces the public transit. It is these people like Daniel Penny had to deal with. It's people like Irina Zarutska had to deal with. And that's just the uncomfortable reality.
First of all, the guy that Daniel Penny had to deal with, he didn't kill anybody in his lifetime. So that's another statistical data point. He was a nut. But let's do this real quick. He talks about people moving out of the community. Every person, no matter what color you are, when you make more money, you move to a higher end neighborhood. You don't see rich white people living in poor white neighborhoods, do you? Do you see wealthy white people living in a trailer park? So the same thing that go for white people go for black people. It's just so happened that white people have more wealth. They live in these wealthier areas. So anybody that makes X amount of money will move out of the hood. It's not just a black thing. But when you're a racist and a nut job, you somehow believe that. All right, let's get to the next clip. Roll it.
I'm a new generation of white person. I'm not living around blacks. Sorry. You know, I want white kids, and I don't want my white kids bringing home black people to marry. It's racial for me. And call me racist. Oh, very Christian of you. I don't give a.
I mean, it couldn't be clearer, really, unless you want to say that's another of your jokes. But you're basically saying, yeah, I'm a racist, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
You're fine with saying you're a racist?
Totally. I think everybody's racist. I think everybody, if we're being honest, is racist.
No,
I think everybody, the only people that aren't racist or pretend not to be are white people to their detriment.
Young men, I hope y'all not listening to that little weenie. Just talking stupid. Most people are not racist. I don't know people that, most people are beyond that stupidity. Don't try to justify more people that way because you that way. Ain't nobody, people ain't thinking about race. Most people, only poor, stupid people are worried about race. There's nobody that's working at a Fortune 500 company, a CEO of a major organization, somebody out here investing, they're trying to make money that they worried about because money is green. Nobody cares about that. Most normal people don't care. I've been living around nothing but white people since I've been a cop because Arizona only got 5% black. And so it's not many black people that live here anyway. We scattered everywhere. But I've been living around white people. I had no problems with white people, not one time. No, people ain't thinking about this. But a racist weirdo like Nick Fuentes. Next clip, roll it. There's more.
You want to talk about racism?
I do.
Let's talk about racism.
Okay,
Let's leave my dad out of it.
Look, you've admitted you're a racist, correct?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Own it.
Okay, that's fine. You're perfectly entitled in a free democratic society to stare down the barrel of his camera and tell me you're a racist.
White people are every single bit justified in being racist. Every single bit justified to the extent that means going out of your way to avoid black people when you see them.
Hold on. He didn't say avoiding black criminals. He didn't say avoiding black ghetto folk. He just said avoiding black people. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. Well, not the craziest. That's one of the craziest things I've ever heard. Because when you're a racist, you categorize all black people the same. Just like when you hate every Jew is the same to you, and you hate them all. Avoiding black people is nonsensical. That's like saying when you go and play basketball somewhere, because they're black, white people can't play basketball with black dudes. White people can't go to college with black people. This fool is talking about walking down the street in the hood somewhere. You're not talking about walking in a regular mall, in a regular place where normal people operate. Let him finish.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So white people should go out of their way to avoid black people when they see them.
Absolutely. They would be wise.
Why?
Because it's a lose-lose proposition. If you're Irina Zarutska and you don't walk the other way, you get stabbed to death and you die.
Anecdotal.
If you're somebody else and you walk on the subway and you stand near a black person or something, maybe it's fine. It's a lose-lose proposition. So no, I think that white people have been beaten into submission, that we're afraid to tell the truth about it. And the truth is that when you go into these major cities like New York or Chicago, I believe she was in North Carolina, there is a menace, which is young, black, adolescent men. They're extremely violent. And we have been told that we have to pretend like they are every other person. We have to be colorblind to that. And we're supposed to go and be in the midst of all this danger. And I think that at this point, it's gotten out of control.
I got to comment on this. It's just silly to me. Go out of your way to avoid it. He gives an anecdotal scenario of a black criminal thug stabbing a woman. Let's just explain this real quick. The 2018, it's the last time I looked at the FBI studies on this topic, and it hasn't varied much from then. But in 2018, FBI statistics, there's been a 200 white people killed by black people, or around 200 white people killed by black people. There's been 400 whites killed by blacks, 200 blacks killed by whites. Now I got that straight. So out of all 350 million people in this country, 60+% are white. And out of all those hundreds of millions of people, you have 200 or 400 white people killed by black people. So your chances of being killed by a black person in America out of over 100 million white people is only 400 people that have been killed by black people in that year. In a year span. You're not going to get killed just walking down the street because a black man is around you. That's the same stupidity what they do with the Jews. The Jews are like this. So every time you see a Jew, you got to expect this out of them. That's not true. There's signs and symptoms of thuggery. You don't want to be in the hood at night gangbanging and you won't get killed. Let's just be honest. Black people, majority of the black people that kill people, they kill other black people. Same thing with white people. Black people don't have some inherent danger that when they see a murderous white person, they're going to get killed by white people. That's likely to happen. That's not reality. And then when you look at the violence that occur, black people who kill other black people, majority of that is gang violence. So if you're not a black person living in the hood associated with a gang, more than likely, as a black man, you're not going to get killed. We saw the birthday party get shot up in a baby shower. It's not that black people are shooting random black people. They get caught up in it, but it's gang violence. A gang member is at a birthday party, and other gang members want to get him, and they shoot up the party where he's at. If you're not associated, you're not connected to any gangs, more than likely you won't be a victim of gang violence. Let's keep going. He says some stuff about the Holocaust. Crazy. Roll it.
It doesn't really sound correct to me. Wait a second. It takes 1 hour to cook a batch of cookies, and you have 15 ovens, probably in 4 different kitchens, right? Doing 24 hours a day, every day for 5 years. How long would it take you to make $6 million? I don't know. It certainly wouldn't be 5 years, right? The math doesn't seem to add up there.
You think that's funny?
It's funny. It's amusing what you're doing because, that one was a joke. But do you want to talk seriously about the Holocaust?
I do, actually. I do, because I just find it extraordinary that you would think the Holocaust could ever be something that we could joke about.
Why, too soon? Is it too soon to make jokes?
How many people do you think died in the Holocaust? How many Jewish people?
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe 7 million. What's the number? 6 million, something like that.
So you
8 million?
You concede that 6 million Jews died in the Holocaust?
Possibly more. Possibly, we're discovering all the time. So it could maybe even be more than that.
So why have you doubted the numbers in the past?
I'll tell you why. I really think that every death is a tragedy, however many Jewish people died in the Holocaust. And I'm not a World War II historian, so I'm actually open to believing the official narrative, and I've read some of the conspiracy theories. And to tell you the truth, it's a rigorous debate. But you know what's interesting about this is in many countries, it's not even legal to talk about it. And that's really where my interest in the Holocaust begins and sort of ends, to tell you the truth, 60 years ago.
But there is no debate to be had about the number of people who were murdered. Even the Nazis in the trials after the war confirmed the numbers.
If the truth is so clear, and if there's such overwhelming evidence, why do you need to throw people in jail for disagreeing? And you yourself said, well, there is no debate. I think everything is debatable. I think everything at least should be debated. And if the evidence is very one-sided, let the evidence speak.
The evidence has spoken. You got people who survived the Holocaust that have spoke about it. You have the trials that occurred and the Nazis confirmed numbers. You have the Jewish people that have been saying from the rooftop that these are the numbers. What is the point in like, I don't know, but that's like saying the sky is blue. Well, it's debatable. Well, really? Is the sky being blue really that debatable? And then this fool gets on here after denying, and I've watched Nick Fuentes when he first started. I watched this stuff, I see clips of him. He has denied the Holocaust. He has said that there has not been, it's impossible. He's saying it's a joke now. He said it was impossible for 6 million people to die. Now he's saying it could be more than 6 million. If you think it could be more than 6 million, why don't you joke about it being more than 6 million? You only joke about it being impossible to be 6 million. It's like, if it was 5 million, then does that change it? 5 million people have been killed, and that's in the Holocaust. That's not even including all this. Joseph Stalin killed a whole bunch of people. And, you know, what are we even saying, bruh? This dude is such a joke to me. And this is why Charlie didn't want to debate him, because what are you really debating? Here's him talking about Hitler is cool, and then I think we got a couple more clips and we'll be done. Roll the clip.
Hitler was a pedophile and kind of a pagan. It's like, well, he was also really cool.
Do you regret saying that?
Saying a fact? No, that's absolutely true.
You think Hitler was very cool?
Yes, I do.
One of them.
And I'm tired of pretending he's not.
That's like saying, I think that Jeffrey Dahmer was really cool. And I'm tired of saying that he wasn't. Just because a person has some attributes, how could the totality of that person be cool? Like, you know, it's funny because I put this on my life that Nick Fuentes will not think that somebody's cool that hurts white people. He wouldn't. You talk about a person who want to tear down the white community, want to destroy Europe. He don't think any of those dictative leaders or dictators are cool. Why Hitler, though? Why Stalin, though? There's nobody else in history that I have heard Nick Fuentes mention that was a mass murdering psychopath that he think is cool. Only the ones who were racist and hated Jews. Make this make sense to me. There are some disgusting, evil people in history. And you don't think they're cool. They may have had some attributes. They may have been very charismatic. Ted Bundy, I think, was charismatic. They don't make him cool. And if you were to say a pedophile has some characteristics very persuasive, you're a pedophile. You can't be cool. You lost all coolness if you killing people or raping kids. All right, last one. Throw the clip.
What motivates you to say something like Hitler was very cool?
It's for this. It's for all of this. And the lack of self-awareness is amazing. You're a boomer. You're a 60-year-old boomer. And we've spent maybe 3 minutes on you saying, he's a really monster. He incinerated people. And I'm sitting here saying it's not that serious. It's not that deep. And
not that
what
serious.
I'm getting at.
Not that serious.
Do you want to say more about he's a monster?
You're not a kid yourself anymore. You're not a teenager.
I know.
Right? You're nearly 30, to be clear.
Yeah,
okay? You're a fully formed adult who has a brain, right? And at some stage, that brain has taken you off these rabbit
Is this an
warrens.
interview or is this a lecture? Can I respond to what you're saying?
I want you to explain why you think it's fine to say how cool Hitler is and to dismiss the very powerful 90 seconds from a British journalist who lost a lot of family members to the Nazis in such a callous, dismissive manner.
I don't think it's powerful. I think we've been hearing that our entire lives. Hitler is a monster. This has been the political narrative, which is why we have thrown open the borders. This is a political narrative, which is why we can't be a conservative society as a whole anymore, why we can't be proud of Europeans, why we can't be proud of being Christian, because they've told us if you're too white and too proud and too Christian, it's going to lead to a Holocaust. And so my generation, our entire lives. See, wait. No,
Nick
it's true,
Fuentes,
and that's why people like me. That's why I'm popular, because this is bullshit.
Honestly,
yeah, it's a crock. We don't want to hear any more about me mom and me dad.
Listen. What you just said is a crock of, and you know
true.
it.
It's called the open society.
In your gut, you know it is. You weaponize this stuff.
You know.
You weaponize this stuff for money, but you know when you say something like what you just said.
I'm banned from banking. I'm banned from banking and credit cards. You know who you're talking to? I do it for money.
And by the way,
how much money you make? Your company's worth $100 million. Your company's worth $100 million. I was banned from Bank of America.
And you shouldn't
I'm
have
banned
been.
from processing credit cards.
And you shouldn't have been.
But I am. So don't tell me I'm doing it for money.
Well, ask me my opinion about that. I'll tell you shouldn't have been. Right? I don't agree with that. What happened to you?
Then don't say I'm doing it for money, because you know that full well, and you say it's a grift.
How much money
if I wanted to be a grifter, I'd be like you, and I would go and say,
how much money are you making?
I'm making a lot of money now.
Yeah.
Now that I'm the #1 live streamer in America, because people agree with me more than they agree with you. We're tired of hearing about slavery and the Holocaust and Jim Crow. We're done hearing about that. You guys
I'm not done hearing about that.
Okay, well, your generation's on the way out, and Generation Z is coming up, and we're finished with that. We're ready to take our country back.
I've got three
we're
sons.
not listening to crime minorities anymore.
I've got 3 sons, and they don't share your views about slavery and about the Holocaust. They can have decency and compassion and humanity about some of the worst things that have happened in the last 150 years or more. They can do that, and they can also have concerned views about issues like immigration and other issues.
Right now, and you can laugh at this, you can scoff at this, our people are being genocided in our country. 50% of the live births in the United Kingdom and in the United States are non-white.
Time out. Y'all got to pay attention to this. This is the same little coward that's like, America first, America first, America first. Quit bringing Europe in this. Europe is not America. We decided we didn't want to be a part of that a long time ago. What are you saying? He keeps saying we would be proud to be European. We're not European. What kind of sauce he smoking? We're not European. America is not white. America is an idea. And Americans believe in that idea. So this country, it belongs to the black folk here, just like the white folk, just like the Mexican folk. As long as you're here legally, you came to this country, you're a citizen. This is our country. We're not like the Europeans. We're not. We're a totally different country on a totally different continent. We're not them. They're not us. We're not the Canadians. We're not the Mexicans. We're Americans. The greatest country on planet Earth with the most diversity. And diversity ain't a bad thing if diversity under one umbrella, meaning that one idea, one nation under God. I'm sick of these little racist cowards, man. I can't wait till I get the turning point and I do my speech. I'm a go off. Don't be a weenie and a coward like Nick Fuentes. Racist, ignorant, stupid folk. You don't have to cry every day over the Holocaust and slavery, but you should acknowledge it happened. You should acknowledge it was wrong. That's why we don't do it anymore. You should acknowledge that the Holocaust was wrong. It was bad. You have to be evil to do something like that. You have to be evil to just kill people and gas them and all the other stuff they did in Europe against Jewish people. It bothers me to listen to this idiot. But I'm glad Piers took him to the wood shack. We're going to talk about Tucker and Doha. But first, we got to talk about Jasmine Crockett running for Senate. Jasmine Crockett Sugar Honey Iced Tea. That's what I'm going to call her. Jasmine Crockett Sugar Honey Iced Tea. Put this wig wearing, bald head. Let me not say that. I'm trying to be a good Christian. Put on the screen. Jasmine Crockett crap. The dumbest congressperson ever is now trying to run for Senate in Texas. I don't know which Senate seat she's trying to run against. Who she's running against? Or like, who is she running to replace? Ted Cruz? I don't know where her jurisdiction is at, but regardless, this fool is trying to run for Senate. Let me put her up there. I got to blast her first before we get to Mr. Doha. Roll the clip.
Right now, many people wonder why I jumped in this race so late, and I just want to be clear that this was never my intention. This was never about me.
What?
I never put myself into any of the polls.
Who put you in there? She finna cry or she finna preach?
Listen.
Oh, a teleprompter messed up.
My question was, which congressional seat would I be running for? And for Texas 30, I love you, Texas 30. Okay, I'm gonna finish. But the more I saw the poll results, I couldn't ignore the trends, which were clear, both as it relates to the primary as well as the general election. I could have played it safe and continued serving in the United States House of Representatives for as long as my constituents would have me. But I don't choose to do that. Because Texas, this moment we're in now, is life or death.
Last time I checked, Texas is doing really good without you Democrats. Last time I checked, the Republicans have created an environment where the state of Texas is one of the most desirable states to live in, even though that weather is terrible in Texas. Terrible. Tornado. I grew up in Texas. Tornado warnings, and it's sleeting, then it snows, and it's a blizzard, and then it's a drought, and then it's a tornado, and then it's sunny before it gets cloudy, before hailballs start falling out the sky with no clouds in the sky. That's how crazy Texas weather is. And you go to Houston, it's so humid, mosquitoes everywhere. I love Texas, but the Republicans did a good job to make you want to live there with all of that going on. Now, let's get to this next clip real quick because she said something even stupider than she said before. And as you notice, if you listen to her, if you go back and play it, she tried to use proper English, right? She was very proper about what she was saying. I put this on everything. Mark my words. She not going to be that ghetto sister mama, hair weave going, stanky booty, smelling like onion rings and baby oil. She not going to be that woman. She going to be polished and trying to articulate herself like who she normally is. She don't want to be ghetto Miss Texas no more. All right, roll the clip.
How you make voters who previously voted for Trump, particularly given that you have been an outspoken critic and he has inserted himself, just take your campaign video as is. He has inserted himself at every turn when it comes to your commentary. How will you convert those who are supportive of him to voters for you?
Yeah, I don't know that we'll necessarily convert all of Trump supporters. That's not our goal.
Do you need to?
Our goal is to definitely talk to people. No, we don't. We don't need to. Our goal is to make sure that we can engage people that historically have not been talked to, because there's so many people that get ignored, specifically in the state of Texas. Listen, the state of Texas is 61% people of color. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of good folk that we can talk to. We know that when Beto came really close, Beto, who is a progressive, we know that he got 65% of the Latino vote. So what did they do after that? They specifically went after Latinos. We know that he got close to 90% or right there at 90% of the African-American vote. So honestly, what we need to do is start talking to the vast majority of Texas. I think my message is very much a mainstream message. I don't know who disagrees with the fact that affordability is a real thing, except for the president, who says it's a Democratic hoax. But when somebody goes to the grocery store nowadays, whether it's in East Texas or whether it's right here in Dallas, Texas, or whether it's in Austin or West Texas, let me tell you, they are looking at those grocery prices and they are thinking we deserve better. Knowing that we do the amount of trade that we do in the state of Texas, yet right now there are these unwarranted tariff wars that is directly impacting us, knowing that we do agriculture big in Texas. We do everything bigger in Texas, but we do ag big, and understanding that we are hitting record-breaking bankruptcy filings by our farmers. Listen, my message is real simple. I'm looking out for you, your survival, and the survival of your kids as it relates to affordability, being able to actually go and access health care, being able to send your child to school, being able to afford a roof over your head. If that's not, what Trump supporters want, then fine. Then they absolutely won't listen to me. But I'm here for the everyday person, the person that's not the billionaire on the list that Trump has decided to take care of, but the people that he left sitting out in the cold, just like he did when he decided to be sworn in, and he decided that Inauguration Day he would have it inside while so many of his loyal supporters were outside.
First of all, we weren't outside. People were in the rotunda. First of all, nobody was outside. This girl is silly, boy. Nobody was outside. We were in the Museum of the Bible. There was other people that's inside watching in their house, watching the hotel. Nobody was outside while Donald Trump was indoors. People were in the rotunda. It wasn't enough people to fit in the rotunda. If we could all fit in the White House, Trump would have had us in the White House. Y'all see how she talking, though? She not swinging Sister Mama no more. She's trying to be articulate, which is dangerous to a certain degree because people are silly in Texas sometimes. Beto almost had his chance, and that dude is stupider than 3 left shoes on an 8-legged man with a hangnail. And they almost got him in there. However, it's not realistic for you to say that you care about the state of Texas and you say you don't need MAGA supporters. I don't know how dumb these politicians have to be. If I was running for office, I would want to get everybody's support. And you could say leftist lunatics or whatever the case may be, but I'm like, I still need them to see the reason why they need to vote for me. You don't have to like me. But are my policies going to be something that you can use or benefit from in your family and your legacy and all that other stuff? Can you benefit from what I'm offering? Yes, we need them. Yes, we need everybody. I need as many people that want to change. Why can't you just say that? They still got to get up there and grandstand. We don't need any Trump. You in Texas, girl. You don't need no Trump support. You're not running for House of Representatives. You're running for the state of Texas. Okay. All right. I want to go to Doha. I want to say Doha. What is Doha? Maybe there's some candy or something, Doha candy. But I want to go to Doha. Are we doing Doha or are we going to do them Somalian foods? All right, we got to do the Somalian foods. Producer said it. Get mad at Grant. Don't get mad at me. Grant said we got to do the Somalian. And then we're going to talk about Tucker and Doha. Which this fool, I'll get you in a second, but this fool, I don't know how y'all still rocking with him like that. I ain't saying you got to cancel the man, but God damn, he fake. Mr. America First say he going to buy a house in Doha. He's going to buy a house in Qatar. He's America First going to buy real estate in another country. Now, I wouldn't have a problem with Mr. Doha buying real estate in another country if he wouldn't lose his socks. If somebody did a summit in Israel and bought property in Israel and said, I love this place. tomorrow I'm going to go buy me a house out here, some land. They can pay $7,000. They're betraying America. What about America First? You spending your money in Israel, you will spend your money in America. But he in Doha, the place where Hamas leaders live. Come on, I'm gonna start preaching in here. Get to the Somalis. Get to the Somali alleys. And that's the dumbest Somali. Listen, Somalia, the little Somalia in America. If you don't like America, get the out of here. Give me the beep. If you don't like America, get the out of here. Take your stanky, nasty, armpit hair having, pig in the blanket wearing, get your butt out of here. We don't want you here. Don't come over here and try to make this Somalia. That's why you left. If it's so great, go back. We don't want your little wrap-up stuff if you ain't trying to be an American. You can you can do this if you want to assimilate, but don't come over here thinking our women got to dress up and be silly. And let me say this. Let me say this, because y'all finna make me go crazy up in here. She with a white man. Pull it up for me real quick. I think we can do it. On her profile picture on X, she with a white man, though. This is the same hamburger heifer that was running around saying the white man is the most dangerous man in the, and you up in it, hiking it up for the white man. He ain't even got the garb on. Homeboy ain't even a Muslim. Maybe he is a Muslim. He a white Muslim. He ain't a part of the brotherhood. She changed. No, she didn't. She changed her cover photo. She changed her cover photo. Quit lying. Quit lying. Go on the internet right now. Find a picture of her and a white man. She changed her cover photo. I was on there and I was looking and I said, wait a minute, that can't be Ilhan Omar. She got two people in a photo picture. It had a blue check mark and she was posting stuff by herself. I said, wait a minute, let me click on this. She up under the arm of a white man. Now, I ain't got no problem with you being with white people. I love my wife. My wife, white is this piece of paper over here. I love my wife. I ain't got no problem with white folk. But if you out here saying all this crazy stuff about Europe and Europeans and America and slavery and all that, and you with a white man, what's the brotherhood say about it? Ilhan, brotherhood gonna stone you to death. You look just like that girl I saw getting stoned in that other video I watched. They stoning people where you from. All right. There she go. Maybe a Muslim. Is he a Muslim? He looked like he a Muslim. I thought he was a Jew at first. I said, man, she married a Jew. That's even crazier. Either way it go, he not a brown. He not a black and brown body. He not Somalian. What a traitor. You traitor. Anyway, pull up on the screen. This fool. Y'all, let me say this real quick. Don't get mad at me. We'll get to Doha in a minute. This fool, you know how I know that she know that the Somalians are doing crime? Because black people do crime too in the hood. It's the same stuff. If I ran for office, I know people doing fraud where I grew up at. I know they doing fraud. And if I claim that I want to change things and fix it, I'll call out the fraud. But she know the Somalians doing fraud. They do it just like black people. People in poor areas, they find ways to make money. They find ways to do their little thing. She know they doing it. They donating to it and all kind of stuff. All right, roll the clip.
Legislation that led to the $250 million being defrauded. She held events at one of the restaurants that was named in the fraud case and had a former staffer who was convicted in the fraud investigation. That's from the New York Post. And 60 of the 79 people who've been indicted in this are from her 5th congressional district there in Minnesota. So a lot of people are saying, wow, there's a lot of potential links here. How much did she know about this?
She knew everything about it. You ain't doing all that and you don't know your people over there doing fraud. Hold on, before we go here, I want to show y'all ground.news real quick. She know they doing fraud, bro. She at the restaurant of a person who involved in the fraud. They doing fraud, bro. You put your own people up and they turn a blind eye to the fraud. That's why these Somalians are trying to get people in office. They're trying to get people in government positions so they can turn a blind eye to all that fraud. All right, hit me. Let's bring up ground.news real quick because I want to show y'all this, and this is significant in my personal opinion. Maybe I'll zoom it in for you. I need y'all to be informed about how this stuff is covered. All you got to do is look at the way these articles are written. As you notice, this is right. 95% right wing, 70% right wing, 100% right wing. Listen to the titles, right? Somali illegal immigrant fraudster photographed with Tim Waltz and Ilhan Omar and them. She said Stephen Miller's rhetoric echoes language of Nazis. Then it goes, it reports allege Ilhan Omar entered marriage with relative. Now, I want you to go down here. Let's go to where the blue stuff at. Blue. Left. They not talking about nothing about this fraud. Now, what they talking about is bad. I'm not going to say it ain't bad. Somebody want to behead you and eat your kids. That's pretty crazy. But why they not talking about the fraud too? The left ain't talking about none of that fraud. So you looking at this, they talking about decapitation stuff, which they should, but ain't nobody talking, you don't see no blue talking about the fraud. So, and look at this one. They talking about that man that's vowed to cut a head off. Listen, when your family's stupid and you going and talking to them and you like, why y'all so stupid? You don't see the Ilhan Omar married her cousin and they like, she married her cousin now. She never did. The man tried to cut her head off. The reason that they saying that because they ain't getting the news from nobody talking about nothing. They only getting one side. And this is why I like Ground Out News, because you know exactly what you're getting, where you're getting it, how you gonna get it. All you gotta do is go to groundoutnews.com/Tatum. Link is in the description section. I think we get y'all 40% off because y'all love me and y'all follow me. We'll get you 40% off. Groundoutnews.com/Tatum. The link will be in the description section. And I promise y'all we're gonna get to Tucker. One more clip. I want to hear from the Donnie. Okay, Donnie's gonna talk, and then we're gonna get to Tucker going to Doha with his sorry self. Roll the clip.
And they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I could say that about other countries, too. I can say it about other countries, too. We don't want them to hell. We have to rebuild our country. You know, our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point. I don't know if people mind me saying that, but I'm saying it. We could go one way or the other, and we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great. These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing. You know, they came from paradise, and they said, this isn't paradise. But when they come from hell, and they complain, and do nothing but bitch, we don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it.
You know what's funny? Put him back on the screen. Put Trump back on the screen. You know what's funny is I think about, you know how you see pictures of old presidents from 100 years ago? And you like, what kind of personality did they have? And like when we go back and look at pictures of Trump, because these pictures that we have now may look antiquated in 100 years. I don't know what kind of stuff they got. Now they're gonna be like holograms and stuff, and the old picture like this that's on a phone is gonna be like ancient. And you're gonna go back and you be like, I wonder. I hear all the quotes from Donald Trump. Maybe we're not gonna have none of his speeches because it's gonna be old data that can't be converted to the new system, and they're gonna be like Abe Lincoln. You're like, I wonder what he was saying. Like, maybe they had more decorum than Trump, but I'm like, were they as raw as Trump? Was George Washington like Trump? Abe Lincoln like Trump? You know, I don't know. General Ford, were these guys that were older gentlemen in our country's history? Were they, you know, anything like Trump, outspoken and just say whatever he feel on the top of his head? I always wondered that. Anyway, let's get to Doha. Now, for y'all who follow me, I think we reading the same sheet of music. But Tucker Carlson, bro, I ain't finna let up on it. Some of y'all want me to stop talking about, but like, bro, like if I did half of this stuff that Tucker is doing, y'all would be canceled. Y'all unfollow me and I ain't doing nothing he doing. If I decided to go do a summit in Israel and I'm on a stage simping, saying Israel is better than America. That's pretty much what he's saying. He said on one of his podcasts, what's wrong with Sharia law? What do you mean? You get to leave your keys and your purse in the car and nobody steal it? Are you comparing that to America? Is that what you're saying? Dude, you live in a fake world utopia. How about we cut people's hands off when they do stuff? And Tucker Carlson be the first one got his hands cut off. Matter of fact, he'd have got his head cut off for lying about them voting machines and got Fox News sued for $1 billion. Let's talk about that. You do something illegal and they get to behead you. Would you have been lying about the machines and get people sued for $1 billion? But when they do it, he co-signed. Let's play the clip. Put the clip of him and them talking to these wig wearers. Roll the clip.
Whenever we are needed to help and to support within that process. But I believe it is solvable. It can be achieved. It's not something impossible.
So last question. I've been personally, not to make it about me, but I have been criticized as being a tool of Qatar. And I just want to say what you already know, which is I've never taken anything from your country and don't plan to. I am, however, tomorrow buying a place in Qatar. Because I am
pay a high check
in Doha, yeah, and I'm doing that because I like the city. I think it's beautiful, but also to make the statement that I'm an American and a free man, and I'll be wherever I want to be, which I think is important. But that does kind of leave us in a place where I have not taken any money from Qatar. I have instead given money to Qatar, and I wonder if you feel that means I've bought you, and you will now spew my propaganda.
Thank you.
I want y'all to pay a very close attention to this. I have not taken any money from Qatar. Let me say this, because I see his flaw, and I don't want y'all to be blaming me for the same thing. I have not taken any money from Israel. My company has not taken any money from Israel. Let's just keep that very clear. On the other side, I bet you that Tucker is saying, I have not taken money. But his company has probably taken a check. I'm not saying it's 100%, but when I saw those filings, it looked like they paid him a sum of money for him to come and interview. They didn't pay him. They paid his company. His company then pays a salary to him. But so he's never taken any money from Qatar. That don't mean his enterprise or his company has it. And I will tell y'all, man, I'm telling you the truth. God is my witness. If Israel want to pay me or my company to come and say things that I believe in already, I'm gonna take that money. And I'm gonna tell you, yeah, I took some money from them. They paid me 6 figures to my company. And that goes to me. If they do it, I'll take it. I ain't gonna sit here and gaslight y'all and lie and be like, I ain't never took no money. Man, look, first of all, if I'm ashamed of taking the money, I'm not gonna take the money. I'm not gonna take money and then be ashamed about it and lie to y'all. Why would I do that? I just won't take it if I'm ashamed. But man, I'm a capitalist, baby. I'll take money in Qatar. I would if it's something I believe in. I'm not gonna do it for propaganda. But if there was a business deal that I could do in Qatar that'll make me $100 million, you think I wouldn't take that business deal? As long as it's ethical and stuff like that, yeah, of course I will. Y'all want to sell Shinergy in Qatar? You may not like the fact that it's the Shin, but you want to sell Verdict in Qatar for a $300 million deal? Come on. I put a bath cloth on me too and put a little thing on the head. I'll come over there with sandals and everything. You want to put some money, some food in my family mouth doing legit business? Come on, Israel. This is the Shin. We could take the Shinergy and make it big in Israel. I'll take that mob, put a yarmulke on. I'll get a Talmud Tatum tattoo if you want me to. I'm kidding. I'm joking. Unlike Nick Fuentes, I'm telling you right now, it's a joke. I ain't finna later on when somebody call me out, I'm like, he would do the joke. No, it wasn't. Qatarson, let him finish.
Just ask me whatever you want me to do for you, I will do it. But look, Tucker, unfortunately, as I told you, that there are a lot of players putting a lot of efforts to sabotage the relationship between Qatar and the United States and to try to demonize anyone who will come to this country. Our efforts when we are lobbying or doing, our outreach in the United States, is to make sure that this relationship is safeguarded. And the relationship for us is mutually beneficial. We are not getting aid from United States. Instead, we are buying from United States. We are partnering with them. We are investing in the United States investing in Qatar. And this relationship has been always a two-way relationship. And we pay all these amounts for lobbying only to protect and to safeguard this relationship. If we were not being attacked and under a lot of disinformation campaign that's been unfortunately funded.
Time out. Clip this. You just heard this man in Doha, Qatar, say when we are lobbying in America, they lobby in America at numbers far greater than Israel. Why is it okay for them to lobby and for Israel not to lobby? Or then for Israel to lobby? Why is it okay? In my opinion, I think it's okay for anybody to lobby. You know they're lobbying. You can decide that you want to support the lobby or not. You can if you want to take money for Qatar if you're running for office or not. If you're a university, Ivy League, and you want to take $5 billion from Qatar, you can take the money. I don't have a problem with any of it. As long as we know that's where it's coming, and you can decide if you want to support them or not. Anytime there's lobbying going on, whether it's America lobbying another country or a country lobbying America, it's for shared interest. It's for them to have influence here, and we do it so we can have influence there. We have a military base in Qatar. Why? Because it's strategic, dummy. Why do we do business in Israel? It's not, to be honest, America ain't that philanthropic. It's because we have vested interests. And we want control. And we give money to Israel, we give money to Jordan and Egypt. We just had the Syrian president come to America and talk to Donald Trump. Why? Do we agree with everything in Syria? No. We want strategic partnerships. We want leverage. That's why we give money to countries, for leverage. We don't give them money because we really want to see their babies eat food every day. That's not the reason why we do it in its totality. And that's the reason why Qatar does what they do. I respect your gangster. But for people like Tucker Carlson, stop lying and gaslighting, bro. Just say you like Qatar more than you like Israel. Fine. You do business in Qatar. You don't want to do business in Israel. Fine. They lobby us. You just don't like Israel. That's why you complain about them lobbying. But you don't say nothing when they lobby in our country too. Roll the clip.
By other players who doesn't want to see a U.S.-Qatar relationship flourish, we would spend this money for better things, to do with the relationship.
Sheikh Mohammed, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I appreciate it.
Now, let's say this. Pause it right there. Keep them on the screen with the Doha in the background. But let's say this. Qatar got a lot of baggage too. People swear to God Israel got so much baggage and they doing that stuff. You telling me Qatar don't? Hamas leaders lived in Qatar. Allegedly, they paid like $5 billion or they paid billions of dollars to Hamas to fight against Israel. They've been responsible, allegedly, because I haven't seen hardcore proof, but I've seen people talk about this. I've seen, commentators talk about it, very respectable news outlets report on this, that they're like giving money to Hezbollah. They're giving money to people that are our enemies. And I know it's happening, but the reason why Donald Trump ain't completely shutting down our relationship with Qatar because they do finicky stuff is because there's a lot of money, power, and influence by having some level of communication with Qatar in the Middle East. We need to communicate with them so that China don't. We have to have the relationships and beat out the people that China are able to influence. Because if we lose all that Saudi money, it's gonna hurt America. We need good relationships in Saudi Arabia. We need good relationships in the UAE, Qatar, wherever the place. I don't even know what's all a part of the UAE, but we need relationships in the Middle East. We need relationships in Syria. We need relationships in Israel. We need relationships in Jordan and Egypt. That's what we're doing. Because if we don't do that, and in Mexico, and we need relationships in Canada, because if we don't do it, China gonna come with a big old check. Big bank take little bank. They gonna be all in Mexico. They already trying to do their cars in Mexico and sell them in America. It's all strategic, baby. We get it. But Tucker Carlson is a weirdo for making a double standard. Let me say this. Y'all probably haven't heard me say this before, but I was offered to go to Qatar. Now, I ain't thought twice about it, man. I'm like, yeah, I would love to go to Qatar. I've never been to Qatar. Seems like it's beautiful. I know people that have gone. It look beautiful out there. I want to see what that be like. It's like going to Dubai. I go to Dubai. I want to see what Dubai is like. I don't mean I need to be kissing no butts over there. But I found out it was like a propaganda thing. I never heard back from the people that said they asked me a long time ago, and I saw influencers going down there. It's like that was an influencer tour, just like Israel do. But everybody cry when people go to Israel, but nobody cry when they go to Qatar. People have asked me to go to Israel, and they've asked me to go to Qatar. Why the double standard, bruh? Anyway, y'all make sure you go and download Freedom Chat, freedomchat.com/Tatum, or just go to your app store and download Freedom Chat on your app. How many subscribers we got on Freedom Chat? Let me look real quick. Freedom Chat. Look at me. We got Larry Elder. I follow Dinesh Souza. There's a whole bunch of other people joining. I just don't want to follow too many people. I got too much stuff going on. But let me go to mine. We got 919 people subscribed on Freedom Chat. I want you guys, if you're watching this, go and subscribe to Freedom Chat. It's free to subscribe. You ain't need to be rich. Go and subscribe to Freedom Chat. Join the conversation with me. It's an app where you can freely communicate with your own family. It's like WhatsApp, but it's a better version of WhatsApp. And you can join and follow people's channels and stuff like that. You can communicate with me, send me a message directly on here. This is what it looked like on the back end. Very good, well put together. I'm an advisor, so I make sure that they're not doing no shenanigans and everything is what it should be. They brought me on there for a reason. And so you can trust it. I wouldn't even be put my name behind it if I didn't trust that it was good. Also, make sure you follow me on all my platforms. Go and follow me on my podcast. I think people don't know that I have a podcast. Y'all go follow the podcast. Maybe we'll be one of the top podcasts in the country. Also, Blackline Security. So I own a security company. I founded it with a couple other gentlemen who are well esteemed. And it is going to be, I would say it was going to be, maybe I should speak it into existence, the best and most prolific security company in the entire United States of America. And there's ways to get involved. If you're a person that does security, EP work, or if you're interested in EP work, if you've been a school security and you want to join Blackline, you can go and apply. We'll eventually get it set up to where it'll say careers at Blackline Security Operations. It's called Blackline Security Ops. We shortened it up because operation was too long. So Blackline Security Ops, you go to the website, you can apply if you want to work with us. You can go on if you need EP security. And I'm talking about augmented security. If you just need somebody to go to the grocery store with you, or somebody to drive you from the airport, or when you have family members at home and you travel and you want somebody to cover your family while you're traveling, all of those things we can provide for you. If you need somebody to come to your house and evaluate an expert, a professional, people do this professionally. Make sure your cameras are working. Make sure you got augmentation at the house, or make sure you got your stuff lined up. Security company is working right, the one that you need. Make sure you got good access points and all of that stuff. We can do that. Threat assessment online. If you think that there's a threat against your life, we can do a threat assessment on the dark web and everything else. So we can make sure that you're solid. And also we have the side of it called the Blackline Guardian Fund. And therefore, if you want to support other influencers or other people's security, because some people can't afford it. Tim Pool said he's going to quit his show because he can't afford the security. We want to be able to help influencers and others be able to manage that and help them with either covering their entire security or covering a portion of security. And you could be a part of that by donating. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you on the next one. I'm out of here.
Oh, the land of the free and the home of the